So I'm just finishing up these trees, as you can see. Because of the amount of rock in this painting, I decided to try to sculpt these trees and give them a fair bit of muscularity. And when I'm painting in shapes like this, oops, on a painting that's really not very big, I prefer to use this little knife. It's quite a tiny thing. And so I decided not to film the whole thing because mostly my hand would be in the way. It's not now because I'm just laying in a couple of final highlights here and there. Every stroke, you're not seeing it now because I'm laying in highlights, but otherwise, for the most part, every stroke that I lay in there represents a branch and how the light falls on the branch. I think that's not too bad. You know, I think I've mentioned before, and this isn't 100% how I do things, but I really tend to paint one tree at a time. In this case, that's exactly what I did. Pretty much from start to finish. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I don't know that I want to clutter things up, you know? Again, because these rocks are strong, this foreground is strong, these trees need to be strong. I can't have, excuse me, I cannot have simple water, powerful rocks, a wild sky, and then have wraith-like feathery trees, you know, sitting there. They need some power. They've got to hold their own against everything else. So I added a little bit of, this was quite blue over to the right, and I moved some of these colors over to the left a little bit. You know what I should do? I'll move the camera because I'm at such an angle right now. Oh, that's what I was going to say. If I had filmed while I was doing this, I'm holding one hand, you know, one finger against here, bracing it with the other, coming in from all kinds of directions. It would obscure your view for the most part anyway. On a larger painting it works better, but in this case I decided not to film it because my hands were in the way, and I didn't want to worry about keeping my hands out of the way because I don't want to compromise my own ability to, you know, to steady myself and to put in the strokes in the way that I see them needed to be put in. Alright, let me just move back to this, excuse me for the bumbling and the clicking and the bumping. Just center this a little bit better. Okay. Now you can probably see more clearly now that I took some of the blues from here. There was a bit of cobalt blue. It was cobalt blue strong here, and then I'd added more alizarin crimson to the left, so it sort of ended, you know, bluish and purplish. So I blended the two to make this more constant. Also, I was very tempted to put more interest in behind the trees here, to take some of this cloud maybe and break this up. But if I'd done that, I would have gone back to having the feeling, in my mind, in my opinion, the feeling of pushing down on this landmass, and as low as it is on the painting, I talked yesterday about breaking the rules, and had I brought some of these higher values down against these rocks, you'd have all this down here, and it would take away from the freeing feel of it, you know, and would sort of defeat the purpose of trying to keep my landmass low. Anyway, now we sort of have, I almost feel value-wise for the most part, we have here down are sort of a family. Here up is another family. You know, the Hatfields and the McCoys, never the two shall marry. Okay, anyway, what I'll do, I need to put just the odd stroke in the rocks here and there. I'd like to bring a little more highlighting, just touching in a few spots. Not much, really. Beyond that, it just needs a signature. I'm gonna pop the camera off of the tripod, and let's do that. Let's do that little scan around here. I'm gonna raise it a little bit as well. Raise the painting, not too high. Okay, editing, editing, editing. All right. Just to zoom in. We'll start with these trees so that you can sort of see the knife work a little bit. The trees are all only ultramarine blue and yellow ochre and white. Sorry. The trunks of the trees are burnt sienna and touches of ultramarine blue and white. A mixture of the three. The foremost trunk catching a little more light, the foremost tree catching a little more light. A little more design to it, hopefully without getting too detailed. That guy back there, he's just off in the shadows. He'd prefer to be ignored. And these two. Not catching quite as much light, but still some. And that guy over there too. But again, you know, when you're sitting in front of a canvas, this is the kind of thing you see, and you need to take those little steps backward now and then, or there will be so many things that bother you while you're painting it that the painting will die on the easel because you've fixed it. You've just done so much fixing. The painting doesn't have any sort of feel of spontaneity, doesn't have life, but you take enough steps back and view it from a distance and you can maintain that a little bit. Big reason I love working with the knife, just love working with the knife. It really helps to encourage me anyway to keep things a bit looser. No, it's not that I would want to work with the knife all the time. I love the variety. Okay. I guess what we'll do on the next video is I'll show you this painting finished. There's not much to go at all, really. And then we'll put another canvas. This ended up, I thought it was an 1824. It's not. It's once I had a look at it, it's a 16 by 20. And I have another 1620 that I will put on the easel after we're done with this one. Have a good day, guys.